This is NDTV, and you're watching Classics.
Hello and welcome to the Unstoppable Indians. Every week we take a journey into the life of an outstanding Indian, a person whose talent, acumen or moral example is transforming India. The best, the finest from every field join me, Manvi Dhillon, on this show to share their life story, their journey to success, some of the knocks along the way, what made them get up and keep going, what makes them an unstoppable Indian. My guest today is the one and only Dr. Devi Shetty. Cardiac surgeon Dr. Devi Prasad Shetty founded Narayana Hrudyalaya, a cardiac care center in Bangalore, in 2001. His aim was simple: cardiac care for the masses. And so Dr. Shetty developed a hybrid strategy. Those who can afford to pay, pay. And the surplus from these patients is used to subsidize operations for those who can't afford it. There is a relentless focus on lowering the costs of operation. The hospital uses all of its expensive CAT scanners and X-ray and magnetic resonance machines to the maximum. 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. This brings down the cost of each surgery and ensures the hospital is profitable. Today, the Bangalore hospital includes cardiac, cancer and multi-speciality care. In Kolkata, Devi Shetty runs a cardiac, trauma, kidney and an eye hospital. Similar health cities are planned in Jaipur, Ahmedabad and Bhubaneswar. Narayana Hrudyalaya also profitably insures just under 3 million Indians against serious illness for 10 rupees a month per person. For the rural poor, it runs 49 remote clinics and mobile testing labs with satellite links that treat thousands of patients every year. Dr. Shetty, it's a pleasure to have you on the Unstoppable Indians. Thank you so much for making the time, and I feel guilty, but thank you for making the time.
Thank you very much.
You know, here we are at Narayana Hrudyalaya in Bangalore, and the thing that amazes me most is that anyone can walk through these doors. No patient is ever turned away. It's tough to imagine because surely in our country there must be so many people walking through those doors. How is it feasible?
It is feasible. First, I just want to give you a statistics. Our country really requires 25 lakh heart surgeries in a year. All the heart hospitals in the country put together are only doing about 80,000 heart surgeries. And the rest perish gradually over a period of time. So this is a sad situation. But if you address the process of delivery of healthcare, it is possible to address everyone's problems. There is a system which we are gradually building. It is possible to declare that no one ever goes away or suffers because he can't afford a heart operation.
What are the principles on which you've actually built Narayana Hrudyalaya? How does it work? To all our viewers who are listening, it is an amazing concept. Are there a few pillars on which it's built?
It's built on very sound business fundamentals, what we call as economy of scale, or in other words, you could call Walmartization. So essentially, what we are trying to do is to do large number of heart operations. In this hospital where we are sitting here, we do about 30 heart surgeries every day. That is much more than the total number of heart surgery done in Singapore and Malaysia put together. About 10% of the heart surgery done in India is done by us. So we have a very large buying capacity. And also, we make it very clear to our professionals, our doctors, nurses, technicians, administrators, that when they join our team, they have to learn to differentiate between need and the greed. We look after their need, but we can't address the greed. So these two main issues of remuneration for the professionals and the cost of drugs and disposables are the ones which are decisive factors. If you address them by changing the way the hospitals are built, we don't build 100-bed, 200-bed hospitals. We build health cities with 3,000 beds, 5,000 beds in every state capital. So when we do that, we have the size to address our cost factor.
But that doesn't bring down the cost to medical equipment, for example. I mean, I look around and I see this medical equipment, and I mean, they're a necessity and they're expensive. So how does that work?
See, there are only 4 medical companies making medical equipments all over the world. For them, like us, they're also looking at the size. I'll give a simple example. We bought the radiation equipments from a company called Electa from Europe. That company gave us the materials at virtually half the price and at 0% interest for 7 years. It's virtually like giving you the machine, you take it, because they look at the long term. They know that if we are successful in cancer, like we are successful in the heart, we will be able to build thousands and thousands of cancer hospitals all across the world. So they are investing on us. Essentially, it is sad. There is a great benefit of being big. There is an unfair advantage. You can take that unfair advantage for yourself or to your patient. So if you decide to take it to the patient, then it's good for everyone.
And so that's how you're able to say, if you can pay, then you pay. If you can't pay, we'll do the surgery anyway. Because you have the ability to manage all of the other costs given your scale. Am I correct in saying that?
That's one of the main reasons. And also other reason is our country now, with the opening of economy, this has made a lot of good people rich. When good people become rich in an honest way, money gets utilized for good causes. So we have hundreds of donors in Bangalore. Like one of the founders of Infosys called Mr. Dinesh, he wrote one check for 5 crore rupees to set up a unit here for organ transplant. So, and his trust and many other trusts in Bangalore, they contribute significant amount of money. There is one trust in Bangalore run by medium-sized business people. They sponsor 60 heart surgeries on children free every month. So there are a lot of good people who will join you if your mission is to make this world a better place to live.
Dr. Shetty, I'm intrigued also by how Yashaswini works. A micro health insurance scheme, today a farmer has to pay 10 rupees a month?
Yes, he used to pay 5 rupees
He
earlier.
used to pay 5 rupees. And now he pays 10 rupees a month, and essentially that covers him for all kinds of medical treatment. You've partnered with the Karnataka government. But again, I'm trying to understand, is there a model here that the rest of India can adopt? What is that model?
It's an excellent model. It is based on the fundamental principle that poor people in isolation are very weak, but together they are very strong. One poor man may not be able to buy a bicycle, but 1 lakh poor people put together can buy a Mercedes car. So essentially what we have done is to address all the poor people together. Cooperative society is a very powerful movement. In Karnataka, we have more than 30,000 cooperative societies. Together, they have more than 12 million people subscribing money for the membership. They sell sugarcane, they sell milk, they sell cashew nuts. So we brought all of them together. We told them that individually you may not be able to buy heart care or a cancer care, but together you can. But all you have to do is to pay 5 rupees per month, which is a very small amount of money. So what cooperative society does is they pay the money in advance to the Yashaswini Trust. And over a period of 1 year, when these farmers, they sell milk or a sugar cane, a tiny amount of money gets deducted. So essentially what our country requires is we need to dissociate healthcare from taxpayers' money. Because as the time passes by, there will be few taxpayers and more non-taxpayers because they don't want to pay. It is just that the life expectancy in our country will touch 80 and 90 years. So you retire at the age of 60 years. So what we are trying to do is there has to be a mechanism for every citizen of the country, starting from children to the retired people, to contribute a tiny amount of money every month for their health care. And that should be possible.
But Dr. Shetty, do you believe, I mean, you know, it's worked in Karnataka. There are, you know, different cultures in different parts of the country, different degrees of commitment to a cause like this. Do you think that we're ever going to be in a stage in India where we can have this kind of insurance countrywide? Or is that a pipe dream? Will you see it in your lifetime? Will I see it in mine?
India will become the first country in the world to dissociate healthcare from affluence. Today, all over the world, quality of healthcare you receive is directly related to your bank balance. But India is going to defy the logic. We are going to prove to the world that you can live in slums with no running water, no toilet, but when you are unwell, you will have access to high-tech healthcare with dignity, like an American or a European citizen. And that is not going to take 10, 20 years. It is going to take less than 5 years, because today we produce the largest number of doctors in the world. US trains 16,000 doctors a year. We train 36,000 doctors a year. We are likely to train over 50,000 doctors a year. We train the largest number of nurses in the world. We train the largest number of medical technicians in the world. Outside US, we have the largest number of US FDA approved pharmaceutical manufacturing units. We have everything required for a wonderful healthcare delivery system. Our biggest problem is people don't have the cash money to pay for the healthcare. That will be replaced by government becoming a health insurance provider than a healthcare provider. And this will happen in a very short duration of time, because I would like you to understand that the politicians are very, very smart, and they will realize the power of a mass health insurance program. This is what has happened in Karnataka, this is what has happened in Andhra Pradesh, and it is likely to happen in other states.
Well, it's definitely heartening to hear that, but I want to dwell a little bit on the telemedicine, because that again is a really powerful tool. Doctors, unfortunately, are concentrated in the big cities, and telemedicine is one way to get their expertise to the remotest parts of the country. What's your experience on that front been? I know you've been actively involved. What scale have you achieved?
See, the telemedicine is based on the foundation that when you hear somebody is unwell, only 1% of the people who are unwell require an operation. 99% of the people who are unwell do not require an operation. That means 99% of the healthcare problems can be treated using telemedicine as long as you have a good quality video conferencing. And we have treated in the last 6 years over 52,000 heart patients in different parts of the world. It is the largest series in the world by a group to treat heart patients. Now, this will happen, this will spread all across the world. Right now, ISRO has connected us to 56 cities all across Africa, because our ex-president, Professor Abdul Kalam, his dream is that if you want to transform healthcare of Africa in a short duration of time, that will only happen if Indian doctors sitting in Indian hospitals can have access to Africa. And this is what has happened. Shortly, it will be commissioned. So it's a great opportunity to bring high-tech healthcare to everyone all across the world, because satellite is distance insensitive. For the satellite sitting in front of you, me treating a patient like you, or sitting here, a patient in Africa, is the same.